So that's the UFA shit, right? But that's not where the road trip ends. No, that's not where the road trip ends. I wish, but it didn't. No, because here's what happened the next day. So we wake up the next day on the 21st, and the plan was for me to drive from Phoenix to Amarillo, Texas. It was gonna be a long day of driving, but I was like, let me get to Amarillo to Kansas City to Chicago. Boom, done, easy, okay? That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Here's what happened. So we were driving from Phoenix to Amarillo. But what ends up happening is my car decides to break down in Gallup, New Mexico. It was terrifying. I was in the car, and you know when you're like hitting the gas, but like it's not accelerating? My shit stopped accelerating. Like I couldn't get it past 65. I'm on highways going up and down hills. Going up a hill, it would start to, it would stop accelerating and start to slow down. I was terrified. So I get off the highway. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? It was a Sunday. No mechanics are open. So I called my mom and my dad. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I'm in Gallup, New Mexico, small town. Everything's closed. And my mom Googled, she's like, there's a Walmart auto center like 10 minutes from you. I was like, okay, I could probably get the car to go get, I'll get there. So I set my shit to not on highways because I was like, there's no way I can get on a highway right now without killing myself or someone else. So then I take this car at like fucking 10 miles an hour, man. And I get it to the, I get it to the Walmart Auto Center in Gallup. And when I get there, I get out of the car, I walk in, and I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, like there's a line. I was just like, I just want to talk directly to a person on the floor here working on the car. So I just was like, I'm going out there. So I just walked out there where the dudes were, and I was like, hey, I need some help. And I just told them the situation. Now, here's the thing. 3 days before this, I got my oil changed, and they did a diagnostic reading because something was going on with the car. And they said my fourth cylinder was misfiring. So spark plugs were the problem, right? Okay, fine. So I could take care of the spark plugs. So I get to Walmart. I tell them that situation because here's the thing. At the Jiffy Lube, they said, you'll make it to Chicago. They're like, you'll be fine. Just when you get to Chicago, take care of it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. They lied. Anyway, did not make it. Was not okay. So here we are in Gallup, New Mexico. Here I am at the Walmart Auto Center, and I'm explaining to them the situation. And they're like, well, we don't do that. We only do tires. And I was like, God damn it. So, and then one of them was like, well, I know a guy though who's a mobile mechanic. Maybe he can meet you here. I was like, okay. So he calls him, we're chit-chatting. I tell him the whole spark plug thing, and he's like, oh, well, hold up. Let me go look at it, because if it's just spark plugs, like I can do that kind of thing. Great. His name was Fernando. He was dope. So he walks over to my car with me, and then he brings over another dude, Danny, who was also dope. So we're still on the road, headed to Chicago, and then my car f***ed up, and now I am at the Walmart Supercenter in Gallup or something, New Mexico. But I'm lucky enough that there are two men here who are so goddamn helpful and amazing. Okay? Fernando and Danny. Walmart needs to give them raises. Thank you. They come over, they look at the car. They're like, yeah, you need new spark plugs then. I was like, all right. Do you guys sell spark plugs? No, we don't. Okay. So I had to go to AutoZone or an O'Reilly's Auto Parts to get spark plugs. So I was like, all right, I'll be back. I'm gonna Uber because I didn't want to drive my car anymore. I was terrified in this thing. And so I get on Uber. I'm in Gallup, New Mexico. There ain't no Ubers anywhere, man. And it's a Sunday. There was zero on the radar. And I stood there for maybe 10 minutes, and I was just like, this is not, what do I do? And I will say, do not try this at home, kids, okay? But I hitchhiked. I did. I saw a guy getting into his truck, and I said, hey, I was like, I'm really sorry. This is very random and inappropriate. I was like, but I'm stranded, and I need a ride to the auto center that's 1.5 miles from here on the other side of the expressway. I was like, and a ride back. That's it. I just need to pick up spark plugs, but they don't sell them here at the Walmart. Like, I just got to get there and back. And he was like, yeah, okay, that's fine, you know? So, and the thing is, I know you're all wondering, like, you had your friend with you, but the thing is, this guy's truck could only fit one more person. So I went. And my friend looked at me and he was like, are you really doing this? And I was like, I have to. I have no choice. I have to get my car back. So I get in this guy's van, and I immediately, before he gets in, start looking around for a weapon. And I see that there is a pair of scissors in the passenger door. So I was like, great, whatever. So I just take the scissors and I held them next to me while, you know, he and I chatted and stuff. And he was really great. His name was Greg. He lives between Albuquerque and Gallup. He's great. Nice guy. He was from Huntington Beach originally, which is right by LA, which is where I was moving from. So we talked it up. Nice dude. Got the job done. So I get back with the spark plugs. Him and Danny swap it out. It's not working. Something's still wrong. I was like, still misfiring. And you could see the flame. I was like, shit. And the thing is, the boot, the whole thing that holds your spark plugs, that thing had just been fried. So I had to then go back to O'Reilly's to get the boot. But this time, Fernando was like, I'll drive you. I saw you get in that guy's truck, and I immediately thought, I should have drove her. I should have drove her. She looked so scared. She's in a stranger's car. But it was all good. So then Fernando and I get in his car. We go to O'Reilly's. We get the boot. They install it. Vroom, vroom. And back in the game. We are back in business. Okay. I was so lucky. These guys, they were great. They were awesome. Helped me out. They didn't charge me. So I tossed them $100. I was like, thank you so much. It was all the cash I had on me. I was like, take it. It's yours. You got me back on the road. So now we're back on the road. But here's the thing. That cost me a good 2.5 hours of time. So I was like, I'm not making it to Amarillo tonight. I'll just go to Albuquerque. I was like 2 hours away, hour and a half away, I think it was. I was like, that'll be fine. We'll do that. So, but here's the thing. I had set my phone to avoiding highways, and I forgot to unclick that option. So I ended up driving from Gallup, New Mexico to Albuquerque in the middle of the fucking night out of these back roads. It was so fun. It was kind of a scary drive. And at one point, I'm not even kidding when I tell you, a meth head dressed all in black jumped in front of my car and started tweaking over it. Like, I'm not even kidding. Dude, I'm not joking. We were literally on this back roads, and like I would hit my high beams, you know, like I can't see shit, but it's a two-way lane, so I don't want to like fuck someone else up. Whatever. It was crazy. So I'm driving, and all of a sudden I just see this fucking arm out of nowhere coming to my light. And it was this dude who's all tweaked out in the desert on meth, fucking jumping in front of my car. So I just swerve out of the way. And goddamn, once I got to a real highway, I was so happy. That was the worst. It was terrifying. It was not a fun drive. That was not a fun night. So then when we get to Albuquerque, I somehow drive myself into the middle of a lowrider fest. So I'm on this street with my fucking little SUV and all these lowriders all around me. It was actually pretty fucking cool. But it was dope. Anyway, so then after that, we crash. We went to the Red Roof Inn, crashed, got some sleep. I ate shitty, disgusting wings I'll never fucking eat again. But then the next day I wake up and I'm like, all right, car's back. We're on the road again. It's fine. So we're just going to go Albuquerque to Kansas City. Fine. Instead of Amarillo to Kansas City, we're just going to do Albuquerque to Kansas City. It's going to be a long day of driving, but we're going to fucking do it. Yeah. You know what happened? You know what happened? Oh, God. I got pulled over by a sheriff. And here's the funny part. Here's the fucked up part, actually. I'm in the car. And you know when you're driving, like you're on a road trip and you're on a major highway, and then suddenly that major highway is going through a small like town that takes 3 minutes to get through. So you slow down to like 40. Yeah, fine, cool, I do that. We're just cruising through this little town, and I see a cop on the opposite side of the street, and he and I make eye contact, and I just keep driving. It was like a nothing, you know, it's just one of the things where you're driving and you just see someone and then you just keep going. But immediately, for some reason, I knew he's going to follow me. I don't know why I knew that. But I was like, he's going to follow me. He's going to pull me over. And sure enough, he absolutely followed me. He sped past a semi to get to me and followed me until I went just over the speed limit. I knew he was going to follow me. I just knew it. He speeds up around a semi to get up to behind me. And then, whoop, sirens. I fucking knew it. I knew it. I just knew I was going to get pulled over. So I pull over. I roll down my window. And he goes, when's the last time you smoked weed in this car? And I said, 2 days ago when I was in Phoenix, Arizona, where it's legal, officer.
You know why I pulled you over?
Depends on how long you were following me. Eesh.
Because here's the thing about cops, just don't lie. Just don't lie to them. And generally, they might be okay. It really depends. Honestly, I didn't know how that was going to go, but...
Why don't we just take it from the top?
Here goes. I sped. I followed too closely. I ran a stop sign. I almost hit a Chevy. I sped some more. I failed to yield at a crosswalk. I changed lanes in the intersection. I changed lanes without signaling while running a red light and speeding.
I said that. And he said, where are you heading? And I said, Chicago. And he was like, wow, that's far. And I was like, yeah, I'm moving from LA to Chicago. The car is packed with my life. This is everything I own. And he then proceeds to tell me that he's going to search my entire car. Yeah, he took my ID, took my friend's ID, and then got us out of the car. And he searched my entire vehicle. And I'm talking, my car was packed with a laundry hamper full of blankets and pillows. 3 different suitcases full of just clothes, shoes, purses, random boxes full of tchotchkes. Like, I had literally packed what I was going to move to Chicago with in my car. He unpacked every single thing, went through every pocket. And here's the fucked up part, guys. He asked me, do you have drugs? And I said, no. I said, no, because marijuana is not a drug, first of all. But I also told him, I was like, I have a few joints.
Is that all?
No. I have unpaid parking tickets.
I have a few joints. He was like, if it's for personal use, he goes, I don't care. I'm here looking for weight. I'm looking for kilos. And I was like, well, if that's what you're looking for, go ahead and waste your time because you're not going to find that here. He went ahead and wasted his time and he searched the entire car. But here's what's funny about his search. Oh, searching this car. I'll tell you why it's funny, because I forgot about a lot of the things that were actually in the goddamn car. Okay? So first off, I want to let you guys know, he pulled me over for speeding is what he said. He said I was speeding. Okay, fair enough. I do tend to do that. So he pulled me over for speeding. But my tags on my car are also expired because I need to get them registered here in Chicago. I didn't do it in LA because I was like, well, I'm moving. Let me just do it when I'm in Chicago, whatever. So we are in Kansas. This is where this happened. I was driving from Albuquerque to Kansas City, Missouri. And this happened in Kansas on this one stretch of highway where marijuana is illegal. But on other sides of it, it's legal. So I just got fucked in that one. It was like an Alice in Wonderland thing. It was just weird. So what ends up happening is as he's searching the car, all right, he finds the jar of weed that has the 3 joints in it. Fair. Puts it up on the dashboard. Then he keeps looking and he finds, oh yeah, my friend had a couple things of edibles. So he's like trying to open that. I was like, do you want me to help you open? There's a kind of tough. And he just looked at me like, and started laughing. I was like, he's like, no, it's fine. Okay, he's keeping the edibles. But then he goes into my backpack and there's 2 other jars of joints because I forgot that I had bought indica, sativa, and hybrid. I wanted to have all the flavors of the rainbow. I'm a pothead. That's just what I am. And I forgot about those. Okay, fine. He finds 2 more jars of joints. Whatever. Here. Okay, done. No. What else does he find? He also finds a little bag. And he opens it, and there's these little stickers in it of Donald Trump, and it says, him pointing at something and going, I did that. Because UFA, we're all like throwing them up on products and meat and produce. So you guys all know where the price is. Who did that? He did that. So he finds those stickers, and I was like, oh no. I was like, maybe I hope he's not a Trumper. Like, what if I get fucked right now? And then he keeps looking, and he finds, so then he finds that shit, right? Okay, that's what's on the dash. Then he goes to open my trunk. And when he opens my trunk, what is sitting in the trunk? This guy. He sees this and he goes, okay. And he went to go get gloves. He already had a glove on. Then he went to go get a second glove. And I told him, I was like, I haven't used it, if that helps. So then he puts that to the side and he finds this blue bug out bag that I have. And in my bug out bag, I forgot about the things that, listen, I forget the things that I think I need to survive, okay? Because then he goes in and he finds this prescription bottle that does not belong to me, and it's penicillin. But it's because I have a client of mine who's a nurse who, when I got strep throat, I was broke, and penicillin they wanted to charge me like $200 fucking dollars, dude. And so I called her and I asked her, can you please get it for me because I can't afford it and I don't want to get an infection and die. And she was like, yeah, you're my hairdresser. I'll do anything for you because I'm amazing. And she's amazing. Anyway, so it was just penicillin. But then he finds an unmarked bottle, prescription bottle of Xanax, Z-bars, whatever. Now those actually are for an emergency. Like I genuinely had those and I was like, I'm putting them in my bug out bag because if I'm ever in a real bad situation where all I have is this backpack, I know I'm going to want some fucking Xanax to chill out. So he finds that. And I was like, oh no, fuck, benzos. Like I could get arrested for that. And then he opens this like chest that I had in my trunk that I had filled with clothes. But the first thing when he pulls it out of it is this massive bag of weed that was like 2 ounces that I forgot about. I genuinely forgot that I had 2 ounces in my trunk. I just forgot. I did. And then he also found my machete and my throwing knives. And he found a collection of wigs. And so it just, and then on top of it, a friend of mine is starting a skincare line. And he was like, Ceci, I have products being dropped in LA, but I'm going to be in Chicago. Can you drive them with you? Sure. I just picked up these boxes, put them in my trunk. I don't know what's in the boxes. When he opened these boxes, it was a scale and massive amounts of white powdered substances in my back seat. And I was like, that's not mine, that's my friend's. Like, I'm just driving it. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna go to fucking prison. Like, I literally, the search just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, oh my God, is there a limb in here somewhere I forgot about from the last body I had to bury? Like, what the fuck? Oh no, that's what fell out of the car next. He pulls that trunk out of my trunk. And then underneath it were all these protest signs that said, like, keep your rosaries off my ovaries, fuck Trump, God must die, like, it's crazy shit. So this road trip is really road tripping. I just got pulled over by the sheriff and had my entire car and every single thing, every suitcase, everything searched. They took my Xanax, they took my weed, they took everything from me. Okay, and now he's testing some other stuff. Oh, it's so fucked. It's so fucked. But this road trip really is road tripping. It's doing its thing. We're having fun. Car broke down, got it fixed. Now, hopefully I won't get arrested. I won't. He's actually been okay. Pretty cool. Anyway, I'll keep you guys tuned on when I actually make it where the fuck I'm going. So basically, and then he had to test all the powdered substances that were not illegal. Like, they are genuinely for his skincare line, whatever the fuck. There's like, snail mucus and like fancy shit, whatever. But so in his search, he found 3 jars of weed, 2 ounces of weed, 2 tins of edibles, unmarked bottle of Xanax bars, a prescription bottle that wasn't mine for penicillin, a dildo microphone, a scale, box of powdered white substances. I did that stickers, machete, throwing knives, wigs, protest signs, and I have bad tags. And I was speeding. And do you know what he did? He let me go. He kept all my shit except the Xanax. He left me the Xanax sitting in the little console in my car. He just didn't take it with him. He left it there for me. And then he said, you're going to get pulled over again. He's like, you got pink hair and you got California license plates. He was like, I was like, is there a way you could write me a note? Like a note saying that you already did the due diligence and like, I'm good and I'm going to get my new tags when I get to my new city. Like, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I mean, I could write something for you. He's like a warning. And then it's up to them though. They might not accept that. And I was like, okay, but we could try. So he wrote me a warning. He wrote me a fucking warning. It's in my car. Actually, I need to email him. And that's the other thing. He wants me to email him when I've made my appointment for the DMV, and he wants me to email him when I've gotten my new tags. Yeah. It was very weird, interesting experience. And it was this one point, he was going through my stuff, and I have these little oils. Hold on a second. Actually, let me grab them so you can see them. So he's going through this, right? He's just going through my stuff, and he sees these 3 bottles, and he's like, what is that? And I was like, they're oils. And he's like, what are they for? And I'm like, well, it says it on there. Clearing bad vibrations and attracting good luck. Literally, like, that's what these are for, okay? I was like, it's just some, like, hippy-dippy, like, woo-woo shit. And I was like, and he goes, I guess you forgot to put some on today then, didn't you? What? The cop had jokes. The sheriff had jokes. I was dead, dude. I was like, this is funny as hell. So overall, I mean, it wasn't a bad experience. You know what I mean? Like, my shit was taken. I got to Chicago, and I had no weed, bro. Dry as fuck. The only thing he let me keep was my Xanax, but he also let me keep this bowl because at the time it hadn't been smoked Yeah, so it was clean, so he didn't have to take it. But can you believe it? I got a horseshoe up my ass. Horseshoe! So, and he didn't even write me the speeding ticket he originally pulled me over for. It was so bizarre. But he told me that I'm basically marked, right? Because I got pink hair and I drive a California car and you know, I'm going through the middle of the country. And I thought, you know what? He's right. I have pink hair. I'm marked by this California plates and stuff. I stand out like a sore thumb. So I gotta change something. I can't change my plates. So I did not get arrested. He confiscated everything, which I'm not gonna lie. When he started piling stuff up on my dashboard, I was like, I didn't realize I was carrying this much. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I didn't get arrested. Everything's fine. But he did tell me I'm kind of marked by having pink hair and California license plates, so I thought, oh, I could change my hair. No big deal. So we're going to drive through the rest of the country as a blonde because it might be easier and I won't be marked as a lib. Okay, thanks, bye. Changed my hair. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go through the rest of the country then as a blonde so that let's get that white privilege working. So after that, now that had taken off like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours of time off the road. I was like, motherfucker. But I was like, I'm not staying in Kansas. I am getting my ass over the border to Missouri, where my way of life is accepted and legal. Okay? So I drive, and we finally make it to Kansas City. And we stay at the American Inn. And it's also like one of those places that's like a hotel, but some people also live there. So it was ghetto as fuck, trashy as fuck. But I don't mind seedy trash. Like, it's fun sometimes. So I enjoyed myself. But anywho... Then, so he writes me this note, this warning, and hopefully the next cop, you know, lets me go. Although, it didn't work. Because between Kansas City and Chicago, I got pulled over again. Yeah. But this time, it was for something else. But this was a setup. Again, here's the fucked up part. I saw the cop, and he wasn't facing my direction. We were on the highway. He was facing the other way. I drove past him and doing the correct speed. Like, I was making sure that I wasn't speeding on this trip because I tend to get pulled over, and I did not want to get pulled over. So, but again, I knew that he saw me, and I just had this weird feeling that he was going to follow me. And then a few minutes later, he comes up out of nowhere. But here's the thing about him. It was a 2-lane highway. Well, like, I had 2 lanes, right? Like, it was a 4-lane highway, 2 going this way, 2 going the other way, right? You get it. So he comes up, but here's the fucked up part. He kind of almost made me break the law. It was strange because it's a law called Scott's Law. I know that it's for Illinois. I don't know if it's other states, but like, if there's a car, like, that has pulled off onto the shoulder, you can't drive in that lane if they're on the shoulder. Everyone has to merge into the faster lane to, like, give them space, right? So, the cop, is riding right fucking next to me, like, the whole time. Like, he's literally hovering, like, just here, where he's kind of in my blind spot, but also not, because I know that you're there, but I can't move over. So here's a car. I can't move over, so I don't. And then I get pulled over for not fucking merging. So he pulls me over. I was like, great, cool. Pulls me over, asks me for my license, registration, all that shit. And I go, listen, I already went through this. I go, I know my tags are expired. And I was like, it's just I'm moving. Here's the note from the last cop. I don't know. And he took it. He went to his car. He came back. And he let me go. He was like, it's usually a $160 ticket and you have to appear in court. He goes, but he's like, you didn't know. No big deal. Because I told him I didn't know that law. Because I actually didn't at the time. But I guess I knew that you're supposed to do that. I just didn't know it was called Scott's Law. I just thought it was rules of the road, kind of like basic decency, like give a person space kind of shit. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But he let me go. And he was really nice. He was like, oh, you're from California. What are you doing in Chicago? Like, or going up there for? And I was like, oh, I'm moving. And he was like, I heard California. I heard LA's gotten really bad. And la, la, la. And it kind of has. I mean, LA's great, but it's way too expensive. It's just way too fucking expensive for what you're getting. And the shit you have to deal with. I don't know. Anyway, so then after that point, I still had about 7 hours left of driving till I'm in Chicago. I was just ready to get there. I was just ready to get there. I mean, I was exhausted at this point.